Okay, so welcome if you are listening in um, to this Tuesday meditation, and quite beautifully we are um, re redoing a meditation that we recently did, and the weather outside is reviewing what it did during winter, so we're having a moment of just going back in time a little. And the energy is close, and you have rain on the roof. And as we begin our meditation, we know we are welcoming and bringing in those beings of the light that support all of our journeys and that support this center in general. So take some time to align yourself with your choice to meditate with us at this time and convey to your body consciousness that that is the higher intention for all that you are right now, and for that part of the universe that you have a degree of free will control over, your body consciousness, your earthly vehicle. So I invite you all to use this time as an opportunity to build that relationship as we contemplate other things. Build the relationship between that aspect of soul that is using all this earthly apparatus to listen to me, to contemplate, to hear the rain, to feel what it is to be incarnate and alive and expressing a higher life in form at this time. This is a peaceful, healing, renewing activity that you have chosen to bring your form to, that you have chosen to experience in your form today. So invite your form to relax. Invite your form to be calm. Invite your form to have a still brain. So we're going to ensure that the past and the future are as much placed into the background and given over for contemplation at another time. And this allows us to fully relate down to our form and up to our soul. Down and up in vibration, if you would. Form is a denser vibration. The soul is a higher vibration. And we sit as the mediating point of awareness that relates the two. We sit as the relating consciousness between that which is our soul and that which is our form. So know that this is a beautiful space. This is a beautiful time for expression that we have. And in meditation, we are able to experience this and grow this and become more adept at this. Eventually, we will master this. And this constitutes a reasonable definition of a spiritual master is one that almost is approaching perfect capacity to relate the two, to blend the two, soul and form. So this point of awareness that is a most enduring aspect of that which you are. It is enduring and you are conscious of it after a certain point of evolution. So enjoy. Father, Mother, God, creator of all things, we ask for blessings on this meditation. This meditation designed to contemplate a profound foundational truth. The idea, the concept that God loves all things at all times. So we convey this to you as our primary understanding and theme for this meditation. And we ask for all that is available to allow us to fully contemplate and possibly embody further this truth. And so we welcome all of your emissaries, all those that work for you on the higher planes of consciousness than the one that we are asked to exist upon in form at this time. We call in those beings of the light from the hierarchy, from the angelic realm, that are unencumbered with this physical body that you have lovingly given us to experience and express through and learn how to be the highest that we can be. So those beings of the light are always most welcome. And we are grateful for their presence. So contemplate in the first instance as we explore the idea that God is all loving at all times. Contemplate that where we find ourselves right now, and where everyone finds themselves right now, is a loving act, a loving expression, a loving handling of our life by God. Contemplate that this is not an easy understanding, depending on the circumstance we find ourselves in. Contemplate the challenge of this for the range of humans on the earth at this time, some of whom have no conscious connection with the idea of God, the idea of our living inner being, living as an aspect of a greater being. Having our life nested within a larger life. Imagine those that are experiencing great difficulty. This principle God is all loving at all times. Is the most challenging idea. To completely embody, to know this at all times. to know this at all times in the face of what our feelings and emotions and our lower mental apparatus may be telling us, what everyone around us may be telling us, what we see, what we hear may be telling us, what we read may be telling us. Only this is the truth. Contemplate that even though this is a truth, the God that we are considering being all loving at all times understands our difficulty in embodying this in truth. And this is another level of the same truth. Contemplate that our long journey towards mastery of the task of being a human, the task of being a part of humanity, being a part of the human kingdom, contemplate that the mastery of this eventually requires us to completely embody this foundational truth. Contemplate that many will find difficulty in accepting this truth because they measure that principle. God is all loving at all times. They measure this using the actions and behaviors of other humans. And rationalize the doubt or the disbelief with how could God allow such behavior? From a certain perspective, this may seem to be completely rational and a quite sound application of logic. Only that logic begins to break down when we understand that we have been gifted free will. And it breaks down when we understand that we've been gifted free will within a much longer incarnational context and karmic context for the purposes of helping us to achieve and attain a level of consciousness and evolution that greatly enhances our capacity as a life form within the greater form. To contemplate that the principle that God loves all at all times is a foundation for all the conversations and teachings of this place. For this place adopts the principle of law of rebirth, which gives us a much longer time frame and many incarnations. And the law of equalization, which gives us what is commonly referred to as karma, a karmic framework within which to learn and evolve. And we understand the principle of free will and the acceptance that this is for all, even those that don't believe this and don't believe that, and don't understand the world and life as we understand it. To contemplate that we place this foundation not as something to blindly accept, but as a definite underlying truth to be slowly understood using all the other material ideas, frameworks, pathways, explanations of existence. Contemplate that for us, this foundation is ultimately required for mastership of the human experience. And mastership of the human experience is why we are here, and supporting those that seek to attain along this path. Our life on the earth plane in the long early parts of our incarnational journey occlude and hide and veil the higher truths and the higher understandings that exist for us on the plane of soul. Once we are able to make contact and to grow our relationship with the plane of soul, so our own being on the plane of soul. So the true understandings regarding this idea, God loves all at all times, lies on the plane of soul, which is the plane of love, wisdom. Not all expressions of love emanate from this plane. The earth plane has a number of layers of versions of love. Often to do with the astral plane, the emotional plane. These versions are much less associated with wisdom than the higher versions, and much more associated with a sense of survival and a sense of self, as in selfish. On the higher planes, love carries with it the wisdom of something approaching oneness, something approaching the true understanding of the symbiotic way that all life works to create something more beautiful, more good, more true. Contemplate that. It is true that God loves all at all times. And it ultimately is our responsibility to learn how that works, why it works, as far as we can, to use our intellect to navigate and grow our understanding, our realization, our enlightenment along these lines. As we come to the end of the meditation, contemplate for future reference that the framework we are given as a human here on earth inevitably leads us to these understandings and to the evolution that we instinctively move towards, even though we may take 2 steps forward and 1 step back, and we might have periods of time of stagnation due to the complexity of the task and due to the resistance of the earthly vehicle. The earthly vehicle is fundamentally the great challenge. It does not inherently hold the higher principles. The lives within the earthly vehicle have a completely different set of tasks, and it is up to us as an individual consciousness, an individual spark of soul, to lead all the lives within our earthly vehicle towards the light. Only for many lifetimes, the greater control lies with the earthly vehicle. So we thank those beings of the light that endeavor to lead us towards these understandings and realizations, towards a greater understanding of ourself and the resistances within our own vehicle. And that encourage us to seek the answers, seek the understanding, seek the paths, seek the support that will lead us increasingly into the light and allow us to express as a being completely and fully the fundamental and foundational and profound truth that God loves all at all times. So Father, Mother God, creator of all things, we are most fortunate to be having the existence that we do according to your wish, your desire, your love. And as much as we can to externalize your enduring love for us, we attempt to honor the divine in all beings. Thank you.